What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Tuesday night virtual experience. We call it life study. Most churches call it Bible study, but we call it life study. And we are excited to be here with you tonight, and so grateful that you've tuned in again on another cold fall night. The weather is certainly changing, but it's a blessing to be here, and certainly praying that, like me, you are having a tremendous week so far, that everything is going well for you. Listen, y'all, I hope y'all are excited about this relationship series. I tell you, it was a blessing on Sunday to talk about the things that we shared from a foundational standpoint. And I certainly hope you were tuned in, and not only tuned in, but that the message was a blessing to you, as we just dealt with those 7 foundational principles of love. And again, just grateful that you tuned in and shared this video. Now, I need you to start sharing this video quickly. I'm not going to be on before you long. I know I say that every week and we always run over, but Pastor promises he's not going to be on long tonight. I tell you, it's been a very busy week filled with a lot of work. I have been up to my neck, literally drowning in work, but glad to be here, and wanted to, again, use tonight to talk about some more foundational stuff before we get into the raunchy ratchet stuff that I know y'all all tune in for on Sunday. But tonight I want to deal with Gary Chapman's very powerful book, The 5 Love Languages. And it is a very powerful book. If you have never read that book, I want to encourage you to read it. If you have read that book, this may be a good opportunity for you to dust that book off, because it does provide some very clear principles on love that are impactful in not only how you deal with folks that you're in relationship with, right? Not more than just the romantic piece, but in friendships as well. And so I want to deal with this, and let's dive into it. But before we do, I want to go through all the networks. And so regardless of what network that you are on, I want you to go ahead and start liking this video, sharing this video, telling everybody to tune in, and let's get ready to go through the networks. Y'all, it's 7-Eleven. I'm just taking my vitamins for the day. I'm way behind. It's been a mess of a day. No lunch today. I'm not proud of this, but it's just been that kind of week. It's been very busy. Facebook, good evening to you. It's good to see you virtually. Those of you that are tuning in via Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're tuning in on Facebook, I want you to hit that like button, hold it down, turn it into a love button. I want you to hit that share button. I want you to hit that @ symbol and tag 5 of your friends right now. If you're on Facebook, tell them to tune in immediately. We're getting ready to get started. I want to get right into this lesson tonight. It's going to be a blessing. So Facebook, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you say good evening in the chat area. Let us know that you are there. Instagram, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuning in via Instagram, Instagram has really picked up a lot of steam over the last couple of weeks. People have really been tuning in via Instagram to check out our series and broadcasts. And so if you're tuning in via Instagram, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor. If you're on Instagram, I want you to fill it up with hearts. I want to see hearts flying up the screen. If you're on Instagram also, I want you to follow the lead of Elder Misty, hit that @ symbol and tag 5 of your friends if you're on Instagram, and tell them to tune in right now, because this is going to be powerful. We're excited to share this message with you, and just so grateful that you've tuned in to share with us on tonight. YouTube, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in via YouTube. If you are tuned in on YouTube, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is for all of you that are not on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I want to challenge you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on YouTube at TheREHABCC. That's at TheREHABCC on YouTube, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us there. Hit that little bell notification icon so that you can be notified every time we go live. But make sure you follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And then if you're on YouTube, I want you to hit that share button. And I want you to share this video on your social media sites. Share it with friends and families. You even have an email option there. You can email the link to somebody who may not be on social media and tell them to tune in. But we are excited tonight. We're excited tonight to be with you, to share and continue this relationship series, this relationship goal series. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 5 love languages. And again, this is a book by Gary Chapman. I think it was written right around 1993, 1992, something like that. And I want to go through these 5 love languages because there are some implications for how we utilize these languages in our lives, not, again, just in the romantic sense. I hope you learned Sunday that this relationship series is more than about who you smashing. It's also about how you have regular relationships with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, right? Because sometimes we think relationships and we only think the romantic sense, but the reality is you will have more non-romantic relationships in your life than you will have romantic. Again, you are likely to have more, unless you're Wilt Chamberlain, you are likely to have more non-romantic relationships in your life than you are romantic ones. And so it is critically important that you engage with your friends good, that you engage with your family well. So this is very important. And tonight, this is what we're going to deal with. So go ahead and put the topic in the comments. I see many of you already doing that. The 5 love languages. Go ahead and put that in the comments there. Again, if you have not hit that @ symbol, I want you to tag 5 people, tell them to tune in, and let's dive right into this. Now, let me give you some foundational things. And again, keep sharing this video. Let's keep getting that number climbed up. Hopefully people will jump on before, a few more people will jump on before we go. But again, I want to get right into this tonight and had to start on time. And so let's deal with this. Now, let's talk about the 5 love languages. And this is the first thing I want to give you. All right. This is the first thing I want you to record. All right. The number one purpose for understanding other people's love languages is this. It is to minimize misunderstandings. Understanding the language of someone else is designed to minimize misunderstandings. Okay? Understanding the love language of someone else is designed to minimize misunderstandings. I want to say it again. Understanding the love language of someone else is designed to minimize misunderstanding. All right. It's designed to minimize misunderstanding. This is important because when we think about that, you understand that when it comes to love languages and more than that, just communication with people in general, again, whether it's relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, or anything in between, situation, whatever you want to call it, communication is always critical in relationships, right? And again, I know I sound like a broken record. I've got to just keep saying this because I don't want anybody to walk away and just say, oh, well, I'm married. This doesn't relate to me because I don't date. Well, number one, if you're married, you should be dating. That's a different conversation, different day. But if you're married, I want you to say, oh, well, I'm not single. This doesn't relate to me. If you're single, I want you to say, well, she's talking about relationships only, not friendship. No, I'm talking about every relationship you can be in. The purpose of a love language is to minimize misunderstanding. And this book was written. If you do some research, it's recorded that Mr. Chapman, it was written by Mr. Dave Chapman. David Chapman wrote this book, but before he wrote it, he spent years doing research, interviewing folks to really understand and attempt to understand why, if there were any patterns and misunderstandings between couples, right? Any patterns and misunderstandings between couples or people connected in any type of relationships. Patterns of misunderstanding. Those of us that have done research, you understand that when you deal with things like patterns, you deal with qualitative research. Qualitative research is based and rooted in understanding the experiences. What I say, Gary Chapman. I'm sorry. I think I said David Chapman. It's Gary Chapman. Thank you, Sister Stephanie. Qualitative research is rooted in understanding patterns based on the lived experiences of participants. Again, I don't want to get too scientific with you tonight, but I want you to understand how he came up with the data that he spent years saying, based on the patterns of the counseling sessions he would go through with couples, folks in relationships, these were the 5 things that were highlighted out as languages that represented how people received love, represented how people were operating in esteem when folks were talking, quote unquote, their language. All right. But again, it was rooted in minimizing misunderstanding. Now, let's just keep it 100. Whether it is your friendships or your relationships, 9 times out of 10, most of the problems you experience in relationships, oftentimes, with the exception of the problems that come through intentional misbehavior, most of the time, the problems that you have, whether they're arguments, disagreements, whatever, are rooted in misunderstanding. You see it one way, you thought it was one way, they thought it was another way. You took the text one way, they took the text another way. And I think I'm going to probably end up doing one of these messages on communication and dealing with communication and the implication of communication on relationships, because the reality is couples, friends that communicate poorly will ultimately have more problems down the road. And see, we are great when it comes to communicating with everybody else, but folks in relationships suck when it comes to communicating with the folks you're in a relationship with. Isn't that something? Isn't it crazy how so many people communicate so well with complete strangers, but have a hard time communicating with the people that they know? I find that startling. And of course, I'm being very funny, FYI. I find that just startling how people can be in relationships or friendships with folks that they've known for years and struggle to have a conversation, a hard conversation, without the conversation turning into an argument, without the conversation turning into a disagreement, without the conversation turning into a big shouting match. You can't even have a heart-to-heart with somebody you've known for years and get out here on social media and be talking to complete strangers. Ain't that something? I'll take it a step further. I'm not anti-therapy. I'm not anti-counseling. I believe in counseling. You guys have been following me for a while and you know I believe in counseling. But let me tell you something. I even find it, you would put counselors out of business if you communicated better. This is in relationships, this is in friendships, this is with your parents, this is with your siblings, this is with your family, this is with your... The only reason counselors and therapists are in business, for the most part, I'm not talking about those challenges you have on your own, like mental illness challenges, things like that, challenges you have, your trauma challenges that you need somebody to talk you through. I'm talking about challenges that are connected to other people, whether it be marital challenges, relationship challenges, friendship challenges, whatever challenges that involve other people. Do you all not realize that we would probably put therapists and counselors out of business if we learn how to talk to the people we were in relationship with the same way we can talk to a complete stranger? I just find it odd that you can sit on the couch of a complete stranger and tell them all your problems, but you can't have the same level of transparency and communication with somebody who's known you. And so I think Gary Chapman was on to something here in writing this book and letting him, the root of the reason why he wrote the book being connected to the fact that he was trying to tie in the loose ends of misunderstandings, right? And so again, after going through all of his qualitative interview notes about all of his experiences, things like that. And I get that. Sister Holt says, it's confidential. It should be. But listen, there's no more confidential bond than the bond you have with the person you're in a relationship with. Now, I know, again, I don't want you to take this out. Pastor's anti-therapy. He's anti-counseling. Of course I'm not. Are you kidding me? I have a regular therapist. I love her. She's great. Right? So don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but understand what I'm saying. And I mean this with everything in me. I ain't got Bible for this. This is Zeb. Hear me and hear me clearly. If you can't speak in confidence with the person that you're in a relationship with, something's wrong. Something's wrong. If the first time the person you're in a relationship with hears things that are confidential about you when both of you are in front of a therapist, something's wrong. That therapist should be rehearing stuff that your mate, your friend, your companion, whatever, has already heard. See, I ain't got, and I'm trying not to go down this rabbit hole, but Sister Holt, y'all blame Sister Holt. That was a really good point and question. But here's the thing that really startles me, and I do a lot of counseling and coaching with people. Obviously, I do marriage counseling still with folks and counseling people through their problems and relationship problems. I do it with couples, individuals. I do it. But one thing that's always startled me is when I get a couple in front of me, pair in front of me, and one of them shares something that the other person heard for the first time that was offensive to the person who's sharing it. Now I hear you. Well, Dr. Zeb, it's hard to speak to folks. Somebody saying it's hard, that's why it's hard to speak to your partner than a stranger, blah, 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 blah. I think it's that because we are just not in relationships doing the things necessary to keep the lines of communication open. Right? All of us, everybody's been guilty of this. But I just find it startling when you get two people in front of each other and they're in front of me or another counselor, therapist or something, And one of them makes a revelation that the other person hasn't heard that explains why they've been feeling the way they've been feeling, why they've been acting the way they've been acting, why they've been behaving the way they've been behaving. And I've always just sat my head and shook my head like, why didn't y'all talk about this before y'all got in front of me? What makes me being present cause you to feel comfortable to now be transparent with your partner? And see, Chapman recognized something, and that is, here's the second point that I want you to record. You ready for this? Here's the second point. Chapman recognized this with most people in relationships, whether it's relationships, probably less friendships, because I've discovered that people tend to be more honest for some dumb reason with their friends than they are their partners. Go figure. I would want to be in a relationship with somebody who is my best friend, that I can be ultimately the most honest with, even more than my friends. But people have it backwards now. Y'all got boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, and wives, and they don't even know the most about you. And you got best friends that know more about you than your spouse. Here I am getting in trouble. Meddling. Here we go. Y'all woke up a bear. I just don't get that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have Bible for this, other than to say, Bible says that two are better than one. And I would imagine that if you get married with somebody, in a relationship with somebody, that person should know more about you than anybody. That's just the way I've always looked at it. So I've always been startled how people could be in a relationship with somebody, but then there is a third party that knows more about the person, that knows more about you than the person that's in a relationship with you. And maybe it's just me. Anyway, I feel like I'm meddling. But when you are in these sessions, I just find that odd. But it brings me to point number 2. Here's the second point that I want you to lift up. And I believe that that's really at the root of this book. And then we're going to run through these love languages really quickly, and we're going to move on. The second point that's at the root of this is this. Another core problem in communication when it comes down to couples is the lack of transparency. The lack of transparency is one of the greatest communication barriers that exist between folks in relationship, friendships, situationships, any ship, including the ship of Zion that you can think of. It is the lack of transparency that has created incredible issues. Listen, y'all, I can't stress it enough. If you can't be honest and transparent with the person you connected to, whether it's a friendship or relationship, it ain't gonna work. And I hear y'all still fighting with me on this way. It's just hard to be totally honest with the person you with. Let me tell you something. If your mantra is it's hard to be honest with the person you with the wrong person. I'm just getting in trouble. I'm going to say it again. If you are in a relationship with somebody and you say it is hard to be honest with the person you're in a relationship with, you're in relationship with the wrong person. I said it. I meant what I said. The reality is you should be able to be transparent with the person you're in a relationship with if you can't be transparent with nobody else. And I don't understand how we can, on the one end, say, well, I'm in a relationship with somebody, whatever, and they're, this is my boo, this is my whatever, this is my fill in the blank. But then on the flip side, say, they're kind of hard to talk to. Gary Chapman understood that. Because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but this is worth exploring. Let me just say this, and I got to save this for the ratchet messages, but let me just go ahead and give you a preview. Can I help y'all? If you're in a relationship with somebody and the only time y'all communicate well is when you doing the do, y'all can't talk. Y'all can't get through a hard conversation. Y'all can't talk about hard things. Y'all can't deal with hard subject matters. Y'all can't do none of that. The only time y'all really communicate strong is when y'all's bellies are slapping against each other. You're in a relationship with the wrong person. And the reality is, when you look at all of these love languages here, none of these love languages here speak to communication that's directly related to slapping bellies. Now I hear you. That's not true, Pastor, because I read the book, Physical Touch. I'm going to explain physical touch because many of you have misunderstood what physical touch means when Gary Chapman described that. And it doesn't mean having sex all day. Because reality is, if the only time you and the person that you're in a relationship with get along is when y'all having sex, it's the wrong person. I said what I said. I said what I said. You have a serious communication barrier. If the only time y'all get along is when you having sex, or it's a birthday, or it's as anniversary, or it's Christmas, or it's Hanukkah, New Year's Day, y'all bring it in, smash or whatever. If the only time y'all get along is when y'all doing the do, you are in a relationship with the wrong person. You got to be able to talk about hard stuff. And the reason why people struggle to have conversation and strong communication in relationship is because they don't want to be transparent. Listen, you need to be connected to somebody that you can tell how you feel and feel like you're safe telling them. That you feel like a safe space when you are explaining to the person you're in a relationship with, listen, this is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I don't agree with. This is where I think we are. This is where I like to see us going. Whatever hard conversation you're having, or this is what I did. Even if them telling you the truth hurts you, the relationship can benefit through the transparency. You got to walk around on pins and needles. You can't have a hard conversation. I would bring this up to Mike, but man, Mike gonna blow. He gonna blow up. So I might as well just keep this to myself. That ain't no good relationship. It's not. And many of y'all walking around on pins and needles, not communicating with your partners, and even in friendships. Some of y'all got friends like that. Well, I can't talk to Sally right now because y'all know when you bring that up to Sally, she really takes that personal. If you walking around on eggshells with your friends, you got the wrong friends. I want friends in my life to be like, look, pull me to the side and be like, look, Zed, you way out of pocket. This is what you should be thinking about doing. This is what you ain't doing right. You all need to take a step back and look at this. Y'all want folks around you walking on eggshells. And Chapman understood this. And when that's the case, you will have serious relationship issues when those communication issues exist. And again, Gary Chapman got that. So I want to be clear here. There is great power in transparency when it comes to communication in any kind of relationship. If you are a friend, you got friends and people in your circle, y'all ought to be able to be transparent with each other. If you're in a relationship with somebody, romantic, heck, situationship, for all I care. Let's just keep it 100. Now, I probably shouldn't be saying this because I don't want y'all to think I am encouraging this. So I probably shouldn't be saying this, but let me just be honest here and just say this to you. Okay? I should not be saying this is going to be bad. I'm going to pay for this. Whatever. Let me say this to you. There are a lot of people that's been in situationships for years. You know why it's still working? Because they're transparent and honest. I said what I said. You know why folk had sneaky links for 5, 6, 7 years and they still going strong? Y'all don't want this. You know why? Because they transparent. This is what it is, and this is what it ain't. I don't expect many amens right here. I don't. It's okay. I keeps it 100 at all costs. Now, don't y'all take this part of the clip and look at this preacher encouraging sneaky link. That's not what I did. I made a very clear explanation of the power of communication. And that point is, regardless of the context, when you communicate, you see better results. Whether that's for good or for bad, you see better results. But tell me where the lie is. Tell me where I told the lie. There's folk that have been messing with each other for years. And you know why it's still going strong? Because they made an agreement. This is not what it is. This is what it is. It's physical. It's this. It's companionship time. Maybe it ain't physical. Maybe it's just spending time with each other and going to dinner. But this is what it is. And this is what it ain't. Now, y'all ain't going to say amen. But many of you could deal with people a whole lot better. and would not feel like you wasted a whole lot of your time if people, when you met them, would have just told you, listen, I don't want no relationship. This is what I want. Y'all don't want me tonight. Gary Chapman was on to something. And part of it is just being transparent, man. Look, y'all, single people, let me help you. I didn't mean to go here, but y'all done woke me up. All right. And I promise we're going to be off by 8 o'clock. But yeah, I'm going to go here because y'all acting like y'all understand what I'm saying. And you don't like the fact that I pulled up sneaky links, and sneaky link relationships are more stable than some of y'all's marriages. Where's the lie? They're more stable. You know why? Because it's clear communication. This is what it is. This is what it ain't. This is when we talk, when we don't. This is when we can hang, when we can't. This is when I can do, when I can't. This is what I can do, what I can't. And there ain't no misunderstanding. You know where it gets fuzzy? When one of them stops communicating, being transparent. When one of them says one thing, but they really want something else. Y'all don't want this tonight. I know it's a fact. They're not listening to me. So transparency is even greater than the circumstance. You can be in a bad relationship or a bad situation you don't belong in or whatever. But if the communication is solid, it's proven it can work. Whatever it is. The fact remains that many of the bad relationships, quote unquote bad relationships that are out here are better than some of these legit relationships, legit marriages, because they got one thing that y'all ain't got: transparent communication. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is how I feel. This is how I don't feel. Y'all can take it or leave it. I don't care. Take it or leave it. I know that's hard for many of you to digest, that a sneaky link relationship will be stronger than your marriage. I said what I said. Because the key is the key is communication. Y'all want me to move on? Let me move on. Boy, my phone gonna be blowing up tonight. I'm serious. I'm not, Pastor's not condoning it. Let me say for the 5th time, I'm not condoning it. But I'm making a very clear point that Chapman was on to. So he wrote the book because he realized couples struggle with communication. So don't forget what I said tonight. There's power in being transparent in your communication. Be transparent. Be with people that you feel like, thank you, Elder, because they're not talking to me. Be with people that you feel like you can tell the truth about everything. How you feel, what you like. Some of y'all in relationships, you taking stuff you don't like, but you staying in it. Relationships, marriage, you staying in it because you would rather just grin and bear it than to just be transparent and say, listen, I don't like this. It's not what I'm into. I don't like this. I don't like that we do this. I don't like that we don't do that. And here you are smiling and grinning and thinking that you're doing something noble because you're holding on to a connection instead of holding on to your transparency. Be transparent. And then when you say, hey, I like this, I don't like this, if they don't like it, then y'all can try to come up with a compromise. And if you can't, you may need to think about coming up with something else. But the answer is in transparency. Y'all don't like this. I know. Anyway, let's go through the 5 languages. I didn't even mean to go down that rabbit hole, but it's life. Let's go through the 5 love languages. Y'all ready? So language number 1 he gives is words of affirmation. I want you to record it, right? Words of affirmation. Boy, I'm going to get in trouble for that tonight. It's what it is. Just be transparent and be honest. Words of affirmation. Number 1, right? What are words of affirmation? Words of affirmation are about expressing love or expressing affection through spoken words. That's simple. It's about expressing affection or expressing love through spoken words, right? So through praise, encouragement, spoken words, we are expressing affection through the words we speak to people, how we encourage people. Again, mates, friendships, marriages, situationships, whatever. The language is universal. People with this particular language, this is important. People with this particular language enjoy kind words of encouragement. And I want to highly recommend, if you have not read the book, what is the name of the book? I don't think I have my book list on my laptop. Shoot. Doggone it. I meant to include that because I wanted to give you guys a couple of books that I think would be helpful for those of you that want to, um, expand your personal growth. The Five Love Languages is obviously a really good book that you can read. Um, there's several other books there. I just read a book by a gentleman by the name of Osho. That's a really good book. I cannot remember the name of it. It's a very small read. It took about a weekend to read, but it was a very powerful book on love and self-affection, self-exploration. I'm big into reading. You guys know this. And so I promise Sunday I'll give you guys some reading list, okay? Because I completely meant to put it in my notes. I knew I was forgetting something tonight, and that's what it was. But again, words of affirmation about encouragement, right? If your partner is words of affirmation, then one of your jobs and challenges will be, or your friends for that matter, doesn't have to be a partner or romantic partner, is going to be to provide them with compliments on things that they do well. Things they do well. And this is a powerful love language, right? All of us every now and then want to hear things we do well. We want to hear the praise. We want to get the pat on the back, that we've done something well, that we've accomplished something well. And for many people who have that love language, that's enough to make their day. That's enough to keep them engaged in the friendship, in the relationship, right? And even if this ain't your love language, my heart goes out to you who are connected to people and you never tell them stuff they do well. Because some of y'all been connected and married to folk for years and you have yet to compliment nothing they do. I said it. In fact, it's the opposite. All you ever do is point out what they ain't doing. All you do is point out what they're not doing. They didn't cook you 50 meals, and they cooked one meal that you didn't like, and all you talk about is the one they didn't like. They cooked that you didn't like. They didn't done a million things right for you and did one thing wrong, and all you talk about is the one thing they did wrong. And it's unfortunate, right? So words of affirmation are very powerful. Don't get me started on Misty, but we'll literally compliment everybody else. Like you egging me on. Don't do it. It goes back to the armor bearer thing that I said the other night on my live. Like, I can't stand to see armor bearers tripping over a bishop. You don't even open the door for your own wife. Here you are knocking folk over to take my bags, and your wife over there got the stroller in her hand, baby bag in her other hand, pocketbook on her shoulder, a little kid holding her leg, and here you are prancing around with your tight pants, about to break your neck, trying to open the door for me. It's ridiculous. We got this stuff tail backwards. It's tail backwards, and it doesn't make sense. And I blame many of you that put up with it. You put up with it. And so words of affirmation are powerful. They are. Second language. I got to keep moving. 742. Y'all trying to get me in trouble. They egging me on Instagram. It don't take a lot. Y'all better leave me alone. I end up on a whole tangent. Leave me alone. Second love language is this: quality time. Gary Chapman records the second love language is quality time. And that's for those people who identify love and affection through time, and this is important, undivided attention. This love language speaks to people who connect love and affection through undivided attention. This is very important. Because see, people who have read this book, and I've counseled people. One of the requirements that I have for couples that I counsel, that I marry, I make them get the book and read this book. This is one of the books I make them get and read. It's an easy read. But people really misunderstand quality time, because you get quality time, you think, oh, well, if I get off work early, we go to dinner, then I done my part. Well, if you at dinner the whole time and you on your phone the whole time, that ain't quality. Ain't nothing quality about you being on a date and you on your phone all the time. Now, some of y'all barely got one job. Barely got one. One of the things I challenge my kids to do, we go and hang out. They're kids. They like to have their phones. So when we're waiting on the food, they'll have their phones. When the food comes, they have to put their phones up. My phone is normally all the way up, unless there's some emergency stuff going on. I might be texting while I'm waiting on the food, but when that food comes, everybody's phone gone. Everybody's phone is put up. You know why? Because it ain't no quality time. Yeah, we at dinner. Well, Pastor, Dr. said we went to dinner. Don't that count as quality time? That's not quality time. Y'all just in a restaurant. Quality time is time through undivided attention. I don't want y'all to miss this, because some of you go out with your spouses and your folks you're in relationship with every week, and y'all still arguing. Y'all still don't get along. Y'all still can't talk. You know why? Because when you at the table, both of you on your phone. It's funny. I went, the last place I went out of country, I'm due for another trip. It's coming up real soon. Thank the Lord Jesus. I'm getting withdrawal being in the country. But when I was in Cancun, I just laughed. I had my journal there, journaling some things, working on something. And I laughed because I walked in, I was sitting for breakfast, and it got to a routine where when I came in, the same breakfast spot that I would come in every morning, I really liked their service there on the resort. And so when I walked in, they saw me coming, hey, Dr. Talley, and they would point me to the same table. They gave me the same juices that I wanted. Like, it came a routine. They knew I was coming. They knew what I wanted. I'm pretty much a creature of habit in that regard. And I'm sitting there doing my morning journaling, waiting on my omelet stuff to finish up and writing. And I remember this couple. They're very attractive couple, young couple. The guy and the lady, very young, attractive couple, but you could tell they didn't have no strong relationship. They probably made for great Instagram pictures. But he was like this, and she was literally like this the whole time, just scrolling on the phone. And I sat there with my journal and said to myself, not me. I can't do it. No, can't do it. Y'all, there's a difference between time and quality time. There's a difference between being around somebody on a date and being on a date with somebody you got their undivided attention. You want to spice up your relationships, your marriages, even your friendships when y'all go out to brunch. Aside from the brunch picture, you can't go to brunch without a picture. I get it. Pastor goes to brunch, he has to have a picture. Okay? I get that. Aside from the brunch picture, maybe a little status update, put the phone in your purse. Guys, put the phone in your coat pocket and enjoy the people at the table. That's quality time. Quality time is time that is with undivided attention. And my kids will tell you, I power my phone off in a minute. I'll leave my phone in the car. There's certain times when I'm out, especially when I'm out with my kids, or even if I'm out on another social event or whatever, I'll leave my phone in the car. And I've had members I've been trying to reach for 3 hours while I was at dinner. It's life. Ain't nobody dead, is it? And if they are, I'll get there as soon as I can. I don't mean that disrespectful. I'm being very candid with you. You know why? Because it's those moments at the table with whoever you're with, spouse, relationship, friendship, whatever. It's those moments at the table that create quality experiences that when you get old or when you're on your way out of here, you will remember those experiences, and those experiences will be held near and dear to your heart. That will create bonds that last with people for a lifetime. Let me put it this way, y'all. Do y'all remember the time that I grew up in? Some of you are old enough to remember this. The time that I grew up in, where before we got all of these cell phones and most families couldn't even afford to have a TV in their dining area, guess what you had to do growing up? You know what we had to do? We couldn't even eat in our room. We had to eat at the table. We had to sit at the table, eat at the table, and either our mama or our daddy or both of them would be at the table, and we had to sit there and eat. And sometimes it was fun times at the table. Sometimes you got laid out for having bad grades and you left the table crying. But guess what you did? You had to eat at the table. And it won't no phones. It won't no them little PSP things, whatever the kids play. Your kids are that like that. Some of y'all raise your kids that way. You let the kids sit at the table. Y'all sitting there eating. The kid is literally slouched down in the seat like this, with his nerd glasses on, like this. Not my two. I can't speak for yours. I'm talking about as for me in my house. No, we at the table. Put that phone up. And we're going to sit here, and I know y'all don't want to talk to your daddy, but you're going to talk. How's school today? We talk about life stuff. They ask questions. I ask them questions. We laugh about stuff. We joke. We say, what? But that's called undivided attention. And many of the communication barriers that we see in our society is because you have groups of people, whether in relationships or any other kind of relationships, that are connected where there is no undivided attention. And I blame technology. I blame the attention that we seek from people outside of the relationships that we're in for that. Some of y'all are more interested in your picture being liked than the person you eating dinner with liking you. Let me move on. Married folk, don't get me started, especially on y'all. Married folk. Some of y'all, the only time you dress up is when you taking a picture for social media. You better dress up for your spouse. Let me move on. Third love language is physical touch. They don't want this, elder. They don't. I'm always locked and loaded. That's all they want. You want likes. You want attention. And some of y'all are more into the attention that people outside of your circle give you than the people in your circle giving you. I tell somebody, I post what I want because I like posting it. I don't need attention. I got enough of that. And if I ain't got enough, I go buy some. Like, I don't need attention. Folk be posting stuff for attention. Do it anyway. Physical touch is the third language. I want to say this, and I want to explain this clearly. I got to hurry. I ain't got but 8 minutes. Physical touch. People with this love language feel love, feel affection through physical communication. I'm going to say this again. People with this language feel love, feel affection through physical communication. What is physical communication? Well, Pastor smashing is physical communication. That's debatable. That's debatable. The reason I say that's debatable is because you can smash somebody that you don't even like. You can smash somebody you don't even get along with. I've already explained this. You can have a horrible relationship with a person, but the only time y'all get along is when y'all slapping bellies. That's not communication. That's just smashing. And if what you got work and what they got work, some of the best smash sessions is after argument. Like, it don't matter. I mean, where's the lie? So that's not communication. Physical touch is dealing with physical communication. And smashing is not physical communication. Smashing is exercise. Physical communication is when you communicate with people through physical touch. Remember, touch is a sense. It's one of the 5 senses. When you communicate with people through touch, meaning you like to hold hands. You might be with your partner and you're watching TV and just slip your hand on your partner's lap, not in a sexual way, not on no private parts. Slip your hand on their leg. You might be one of those people who like for people to put their hand on your leg. I've talked to people, and this has been in a very non-sexual way, at least my opinion. I've had people talk to me, any gender, both genders, who would talk, and when they're talking to you, they hit you on the shoulder. Yeah, Zeb, that's crazy, man. Hit you on the shoulder. People like that tend to have a physical touch as a love language. They just can't help it. Like, they can't help but hit you, or man, you so crazy, man. Hit your arm, or if you, especially talking to the opposite sex, girl, you crazy, and hit her hand or something like that, and you ain't even flirting. It's just the way you communicate, and that's the way people with physical touch express love and affection. Because again, it's not always romantic. Sometimes it's affection. It's admiration, adoration for someone through physical communication, touching their arm, a massage at the end of the day. Some of y'all just want to have sex so bad. You take this, yeah, man, I got a girl, man, her love language, physical touch. You know what that means? It don't mean y'all gonna be having sex all the time. Doesn't mean that. That's not what that means. And some of you dudes walk around here, I want a girl with physical touch. Negro. I'm sorry, Negro. That's not what that means. That doesn't mean that. That means your girl, your lady communicates through physical communication, meaning hold her hand sometimes. Go to sit on the couch and watch a movie with her without trying to do something. I'm trying to, y'all don't like this. I'm giving so much free game. I don't know. Hold a hand and watch a movie without trying to slip your hand places, guys. And ladies, some of you ladies ain't much better. Some of you ladies want to do with physical touch because y'all just as bad, if not worse. Let that man watch and eat his dinner without you trying to get something started. If he physical touch, let that man watch that movie and just just be that he bald head, just rub the back of his head or something while he eating his spaghetti. Don't bother him. Don't try to make it sexual if that's his language. I'm trying to help y'all. Is this helping y'all? Don't try to make it sexual. Just because it's physical touch doesn't mean it's sexual. And that's how some of you wear people out. And I don't mean that literally in the physical sense. Some of you wear people out because everything is about sex. And it's not. And guys, I'm especially talking to you because it tends to be more one-sided on that way. Let's just keep it 100, y'all. It tends to be more one-sided with guys. Guys, that's all they think about. A lot of the times. Let me say that. A lot of times. That's all they think about. Now, you can't even sit there and have a movie date with somebody without trying to smash. And she might even be interested in that. But dude, if her language is physical touch, 9 times out of 10, she just want to enjoy the movie, man. Let her lay her head on your lap without you trying to make her do something. Like, come on. I'm just trying to help y'all. Y'all, hold her hand. Be playful. But it doesn't have to always translate to that. Is this making sense? Language 4. I'm running over. Here we go. 7:56. I'm running over. Y'all give me 5 extra minutes. I'll be finished by 8:05. All right. Language number 4. Mr. Herbert said, if it's basketball and football season, move. I'm not gonna egg into this. But let me just say this. Part of understanding the language of your partner is also being mindful of things like that too. Right? Some of y'all get offended by that. I'm gonna just leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that comment alone. I'm gonna just leave that alone. Let me just leave that alone. Language 4. I'm gonna just leave that alone because I could take that so many different ways. I can't. I'm gonna get in trouble if I do. Let me just leave that alone. I'm gonna just leave that alone. That would be bad. I can't say that. I can't say that. Language 4 is acts of service. Acts of service. I'm trying not to laugh, Sister Stephanie, but I'm fighting responding the way I want to. And this is so hard. My cheeks are about to crack. Because there's a lot of truth in that, but then there's some distruth too. Because I just can't. I can't do it. That would not be responsible. Language 4, acts of service. Let me get it together. Acts of service is this: for a person who feels love or shows love or feels like, yeah, I'm gonna let it slide. For a person who feels love or shows love or affection through acts of service, it is about doing nice things for them. It's about doing nice things for them, but I don't mean nice things for them in the sense of just these big, great, grand things. It is about doing nice things for them, the little things to make life easier for a person. I want to say that again. Acts of service is about doing little things to make life easier for a person, right? And here's the best example I can give. A person with acts of service don't mind going out to dinner. They don't mind, holding hands, all that stuff, I guess. But fellas, A lady with acts of service as a love language wants you to wash them dishes sometimes. I'm teaching tonight, man. I'm just teaching. Did y'all hear what I said? A lady with an acts of service love language, and even if she don't have an acts of service love language, let me peep you on free game. Sometimes she wants you to wash the dishes. Oh, y'all quiet. Sometimes she wants you to change the baby. Sometimes she wants you to go out here and put gas in her car. I'm trying to help you. But nah, that's her job. That the lady's job is this, and the man's job to do the trash and get the biggest piece of chicken. Come on, man. Acts of service is about doing something for somebody that makes life easier for them. And if y'all have a set responsibilities in your house, in your relationship, whatever, where one takes care of one thing and the other one takes care of another person, switch it up sometimes. Switch it up. It shows appreciation for what the other person does. Now, I think there's extents to that. I don't see a situation where a lady in my house is taking out the trash. It's probably sexist to some of you. So what? Sue me. I just don't think women take out trash. I said it. I don't have Bible for it. This is a Zeb thing. This ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. And when it doesn't, I'm always clear. I don't think women should take out trash. I don't think if you are with your woman. Now, the next level of this is this, and this is an area, something that, I would need to improve in. The next level of this is, number one, I don't think a woman should pump gas. The next level of it is, and I've watched my daddy do this with my mama, does it well. He makes sure her car is filled up so she never has to stop. Now, that's something next level for me. That's something I would have to, work on. And I'm not using this as an excuse. Doing a million different things, sometimes you just don't be thinking. At least I wasn't. I can admit this and I can be transparent with you all. But I'm going to tell you something that I've never done. And I'm about to go in right now. Bump that. I need about 6 more minutes because I'm about to go in on something. Let me tell you something I can't stand. I can't stand to pull up to a gas station and to pull up and see a Negro sitting in the car and his girlfriend, his wife, his sneaky link, his side, even if she a side piece. Dude, the least you could do is pump her gas. That's the least you could do. I mean, you're smashing her for free. The least you could do is pump her gas. If she's just a side piece. And I can't tell y'all the number of cars I pull up, the number of times I pull up at gas stations. Maybe y'all don't ever see this. I can't tell you the number of times I pull up at gas stations and the dude not only be sitting in the car, he be in the passenger seat, lean back like this. Just lean back in the seat on his phone, smoking. What? And she out there is 40 degrees, shivering, got leggings on, pumping the gas like a dummy. I said it. You crazy. You're crazy. I can't stand it. So again, I don't have Bible for this. I really don't have Bible for this. This is Zeb, because some of you won't agree with this, because we got some 2021 women on the line. Well, Pastor Dr. said he don't have to pump my gas. I can pump my own gas. He don't have to take out the trash. I can take my own trash. That's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not here to argue with you. Do how you want to with your hard hands. Do it. Some of y'all women harder than me, but that's a different conversation, different day. I'm not gonna go there tonight. Some of y'all want to do all of that because you harder than I am, and I'm pretty hard. I'm pretty masculine. My energy is really masculine. And some of y'all scare me. I'm serious. I'm serious. So if that's your thing, go pump your gas. But I just believe there's just certain things women shouldn't be doing if they got a whole grown man in the car. I got my son. My son already asking to pump gas. I have to fight him to stay in the car, but he already understand. Boy, were you with your mama? Help your mama. You big enough to grab that trash bag. Don't let your mama walk that trash out of her house. Help your mama. He already know what time it is. And Ford does it. Does it with his sister. Does it with his mama. Sisters. He does it with his mom. He does that. That's how you raise your kids. That's how you raise your sons. Understand? The only reason he don't pump gas in my car because he real still kind of tiny. And I don't want gas everywhere. Catch on fire outside the car. But I've shown him how to do it. He's getting taller and he's gonna be able to get to a point where he'll be able to do it. He won't have to pump my gas. I can pump my own gas. But I be doggone. You get out here and start dating. You get out somewhere, and if I ever hear that a girl is pump gas and you sitting in the car, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna drag you out that car. I don't care if you 6'7". I'll always be able to drag you. Y'all don't like this kind of teaching. Let me move on. Just stop, ladies, pumping your own gas and you got grown men you connected to. Because y'all do Pastor that favor. I ain't got Bible for it. But could y'all do Pastor that favor and stop pumping your own gas? Stop taking out your own trash. He living in your house, eating your Cheerios. You pick it up after him. He got socks everywhere, drawers everywhere. You pick it up after him. He just that. You pick it up, and the least he could do is take out the trash. And don't y'all get me started on working. Because normally these same guys also ain't working either. Yeah, I said it. I made the assumption. They ain't working either. Because if he'll let you pump your own gas, take out the trash, do all this stuff at the house, and he just sitting chilling, he probably chilling all day. And meanwhile, he didn't smash you good at night. I told you Sunday. I said it again. He got the good D. Y'all get folk a pass because they got good D. Then he gets up. You get up in the morning to go to work. You got to be at work at 6 in the morning. He gets up to go to work, and all he does is turn over and kiss you, say, "Hey, baby, have a good day at work." And you let him stay right in there, and in his boxes, sit on your couch and play PS5 all day. And you call that love, and you crazy. You are absolutely crazy. Because that ain't love, that's foolishness. You have to teach a man. Sometimes, ladies, unfortunately, you have to teach these men how to be men. But y'all stop pumping your own gas. Young men, if you're on this call, if you're on dates, and you are taking a young lady out and y'all are in a car, I don't care if it's her car. You get out the car and pump her gas. Do y'all hear me? I'll take it a step further. We're having this conversation when I was in Baltimore with some colleagues last week. And I mean this. It's old fashioned, but I mean this. Young men, if you are taking a young lady out on a date, especially the first date, second, third, fourth, y'all can negotiate. You may be with a young lady who doesn't mind splitting the bill if she likes you or wants to pay for the second or the third. That's fine. But the first date belongs to the man. Y'all don't like this kind of teaching. Y'all want this. The first date belongs to the man. I said what I said. I ain't got no Bible for it. This is all Zeb. And fellas, if you can't afford to pay for the date, keep her at home. Y'all 4 for 4 at Wendy's. It's all good. I know y'all don't like this. I know this is tight, but it's right. You pay for the first one. I wish Ford would come to me like, yeah, daddy, this girl, I want to take this girl out, but she gonna take me to set. She gonna what? No, she not. She not gonna take you nowhere. You gonna take her if you going, and you better have some money, and you better let her order what she want to order. Yeah, y'all don't like this kind of teaching. Let me just move on. 5th love language, and I'm done because I'm over. Y'all don't like this kind of teaching, and that's why your son's raggedy. That's why your son's raggedy, and they end up marrying folk, getting folk off away from their family. They abuse them. They don't know how to treat them, and you're crazy. If you can't afford to take her out on a date and she get what she wants, you're not ready to date her. And the tip. I see you, Miss Shaw. And the tip. Some of y'all get cute. Well, I'll pay for this, but baby, you got the tip. Not on that first date, she don't. They don't like they don't like how I'm teaching, little brother, little Bryce. They don't like how I'm teaching. It's true. Now on that first date, you don't. No, you got the whole bill. You got the gas. You got the whole bill. You got all of that on the first date. After that, if I really like you as a lady, if I really like you, then maybe we can negotiate. You know, second date, third date, something like we negotiate something like that. And I get that. You've been in a relationship with people. It's totally cool for the female to pay. Sometimes, a lot of the times, I'm pro that. Trust me. I like to eat at nice places. That bill be high. I'm all for it. But that first one, no, sir. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Here's the fifth love language, and I'm done. Fifth love language is receiving gifts. Y'all don't like this kind of teaching tonight. That's all right. Fifth love language is receiving gifts. And Gary Chapman defines receiving gifts as a situation where a person with this language expresses their love or affection by giving a gift. Here we go. By giving a gift with special care. This is important. Receiving gifts is a love language in which a person expresses their love and affection by giving a gift with special care. It's not about how expensive the gift is. It's not about that. That's people read this language and they don't understand this language and think, oh, you don't love me. My love language is receiving gifts. So that means I need a Louis bag every month. That don't mean that. It's not about getting a Louis bag every month. Your bag can come from Walmart. A person with the receiving gifts language is a person who says, what's the thought behind the gift you gave? What's the thought behind it? I'm going to peep y'all on more game. You want a nice, inexpensive date that will be impactful? When the weather breaks, go and have a picnic. Make the lunch, meet them for lunch, make it at home, put it in a picnic basket. You can buy them. Pack everything in there. Get your blanket. Finger foods. You ain't gonna eat no lasagna on the grass. Finger foods, and go have a picnic. It's cheap. It's inexpensive, but guess what it is? It's thoughtful. Free game. Some of y'all ought to be cash apping me every week for the stuff I'm teaching y'all. You think Bruce Chris is receiving gifts. No, it's just a high bill. It's just a high bill. Stacey Cotton said, boy, preach that picnic. I'm trying to help them. Did y'all see the movie? What's the movie with Jada Pinkett when she was rolling around and the grass was in his butt? What's the name of the movie? Jason's Lyric. Did y'all see that movie? Homeboy peeped y'all on some game. Jason's Lyric. He was sitting right out there with Jada Pinkett, having a little picnic. He probably paid $20 for that lunch, maybe 15. Y'all be trying to do the most expensive stuff and think you impressing folk. And receiving gifts is not about doing the most expensive thing. It's about doing the most thoughtful thing. And some of your gifts would be a lot more meaningful if they were more thoughtful. This is why I don't like for people to do things for me and just think because they did something expensive that it meant a lot. No, you can go out here and buy something expensive, but if your heart ain't in it, you really don't want me to have it, you could have saved that money. You could have just went and got a 4 for $4. Them chicken nuggets hit just the same when they fresh out the grease. It's the truth. And you think that thoughtfulness is Ruth's Chris. You think that thoughtfulness, is some other 5-star restaurant, and it ain't. Thoughtfulness. Receiving gifts is about being thoughtful in nature when you give it. and putting real genuine, how are they going to feel if I give them this? How are they going to receive it if I give them this? And it's the little stuff. It's the little thing. I'm trying to keep y'all on game. Stop thinking it costs a big tab in order to show people love and affection who have this receiving gifts love language. It's the effort. Thank you. That's all I'm trying to say. It's the effort. The reality is some of you are going to be in a relationship or married to people where you won't be able to afford to stay at a 5-star resort. It's okay, especially at different levels or different stages of your marriage or relationship. You're going to be building together. You're going to be broke in the beginning. You might be broke in the middle. You won't be able to go afford to a 5-star. That's fine. Go right on over here to Days Inn. Go right on over here to Days Inn. Get the nicest room that they got. Get you some Lysol. Clean it up real good. Go right on over there to the dollar store. You can't afford real roses. Go into the dollar store, get some of them artificial soft roses. Break them off and decorate that little Days Inn bed with them rose petals and put some thought and effort into it. And fellas, she'll appreciate it. Ladies, he'll appreciate it. Y'all think it's about the money amount, and it ain't. Let me give y'all free game, and I'm going to say this and shut my laptop. Fellas, you ready? An old pimp taught me one time and said, it's cheaper to keep her. Anybody ever heard that before? It's cheaper to keep her. Y'all out here breaking bank, buying all these Louis bags. She taking your bags and sleeping with somebody else. He taking your watches. He taking your watches and smashing some and got a whole new side piece. And the old pimp said, it's cheaper to keep her. And there's a lesson in that. The beauty of love and affection ain't about the price tag. It's about the thoughtfulness you put into something. It's about setting up a weekend on the budget you got and putting the thought into the details. Guys, I feel like I need to do a session on y'all to just show y'all some stuff. Like just the little details. You could create a weekend for somebody, little details, create notes for each day, for each activity in each day. I can peep y'all on so much game, and it costs you about $30. And here you are out here breaking your bank, doing all this stuff, trying to do all of this stuff, and she don't even halfway like you. She got an attitude with you because you don't ever take out, you ever do enough for. And then on Valentine's Day, you go out here on Valentine's Day where the roses are double the price, the candy is double the price, the rooms are double the price, and you try to show off on a specific day, and you didn't spend double the price on a day. You could have saved your little money and picked an off day and did it for a fourth of the price just by being thoughtful. This bless anybody? I'm done. It's 8:17. I'm 17 whole minutes over. And still ain't getting none. That's Bunch said that. I didn't say that. You did all that and still don't get Nathan. It's the truth. This bless anybody tonight? I want to pray for you. I feel like I need to pray. 8:17. I love you guys. I hope this relationship series is making a lot of sense so far. We're going to up the ante on Sunday and start getting into some of the ratchet stuff. Anyway, I want to pray for you. If you got a prayer request, you can type your prayer request in the comments now, or you can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. You can email your prayer request, put in the subject line prayer request, and that gets routed to me. I'll be sure to read your prayer request, and we'll be sure to pray for it every morning, 4:15. I get up and I pray over your request. And I want you to know that I will be praying over your prayer request for the rest of this week. And so if you've got a prayer request, I want you to type your prayer request in the comments now. Again, if it's something that cannot be read or seen because it may show up on the broadcast, then you can email your prayer request. But I want to pray with you quickly. As you type in your prayer request, I want you to connect your hand like this as a sign, a symbol of faith, because I'm getting ready to pray for you where you are. So type in your prayer request, and then I want you to clasp your hands hands like this is a sign, a symbol of faith, because I'm getting ready to pray for you. And I'm just so excited. Come on, quickly. I need to see a few prayer requests really quickly. I see a few on Instagram. Thank you so much. Good. Really quickly. Type your prayer request so that we can pray quickly. We're going to sow a seed and we're going to get out of here. All right. Quickly. Type your prayer request, clasp your hands like this, and tune into this prayer. Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you tonight for this time of sharing and gathering you've given us. I pray something was said that was shared, has encouraged somebody, has motivated somebody, has tuned into somebody, somebody's ability to better communicate with the people they're in relationship, friendship, whatever ship. Help us, God, to be better communicators. Help us to be transparent and honest in the things that we desire and the things that we expect, so that we can have fruitful and meaningful connections with others. God, for every prayer request that's been lifted on this broadcast, we lift it up to you, that you would answer those prayers, that you would make ways as only you can, that you would meet needs as only you can. I thank you, God, for a week that will be filled with miracles, open doors, made ways, met needs, granted hearts' desires, that you would answer the prayers of your people, that you would make ways out of no way, that you would cause this week to be a week where we are literally blessed, exceeding and abundantly above all that we can ask or think. God, I lift these prayers up to you. Ask that you would send healing to your people, financial miracles to your people, that you would open up career doors, that you would make relationships and connections better, that you would touch family issues and family matters, that you would meet all of these demands. And God, we will continue to give your name glory, honor, and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Do me a favor. I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. Quickly. It is so. It is so. If you prayed that prayer of faith with me, I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. It is so. It is so. It is so. Really quickly. It is so. It is so. I want you to know that God's answering prayers. He's making ways for you. He's meeting needs for you. And I'm so excited about that, that we still serve a God that answers prayer. And we live in a time where prayer still works. The effectual, fervent prayer of the righteous still works. And I'm excited about that. Listen, I want to challenge you to give quickly. 60 seconds and I'm done. I want to challenge you to give. If this message, if this ministry, this broadcast has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you to give. Sow into our ministry tonight really quickly. We're gearing up for in-person, a modified hybrid schedule to hopefully launch off in January. So I'm going to challenge you to give. We're not going to get rid of our virtual audience. We have so many people connected near and far across this country that tune in every single Tuesday and Sunday. And so we're so grateful for your not only tuning in, but how you financially support us. I want to challenge you to give. You can give via CashAPP at $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website at www.rehabcc.org. That's www.rehabcc.org. Choose online giving, or you can give by texting REHABWORKS. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202. And right to your cell phone, you get a link. Click on that link, follow the instructions, and you can give that way. Again, CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE. Website, www.rehabcc.org. Choose online giving, or through your cell phone by texting REHABWORKS. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. And right to your cell phone, you'll see a prompt. Follow that prompt, and you can give right from your cell phone. And God's going to bless you. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He's going to send people to your life to be a blessing to you. Listen, I'm done tonight. I did not mean to run 23 minutes over. I want you all to like this video, share this video, tag 5 people, tell them to go back and watch this video tonight. Tell them Pastor peeped them on, provided some free game tonight that's going to help somebody. I want you to share this video and then make plans to meet me Sunday, 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we continue this Thirst Traps Cuffing Season relationship series. We're going to up the ante Sunday. It's about to get real fast. And I'm excited about it. All right. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. Share this video. Like this video. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I will make plans to see you this Sunday at 9:08 a.m. All right. Love you guys. Praying for you. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, You can sow a seed into his ministry by CashAPP at $PastorZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.